My chosen one, you are not here by accident. This moment was arranged by heaven, timed with precision, and released just for you. Anointed one. The Spirit is drawing you to the edge of a supernatural shift where hidden doors open and divine provision begins to flow. What you are sensing is not imagination, it is alignment. Scripture says the wealth of the wicked is stored up for the righteous, and tonight your faith is being awakened to receive. Still your heart lean in and listen closely. God is not exposing to harm you, but positioning you to prosper. This is a warning, a protection, and a promise unfolding now. Chosen one, before you ever took your first breath, there were prayers spoken over your bloodline that did not expire with time. They lingered, they waited, and now heaven is responding. I want you to hear this slowly and clearly. You were not chosen for noise or attention. You were chosen for sight. You are the one who notices what others overlook. You feel shifts in rooms before words are spoken. You sense tension before it surfaces. That is not anxiety. That is discernment. I remember seasons in my own life when I could not explain why certain spaces felt heavy or why peace seemed delayed, even though I was doing everything right. It was not until later that I understood. Sometimes the disruption is not coming from you. Sometimes heaven is waking you up because you are strong enough to carry truth without becoming bitter. That is where you are now. This is not a call to anger, chosen one. This is a call to holy composure. What God is doing in this moment does not require raised voices or dramatic reactions. It requires stillness. Truth does not need volume to be powerful. Light does not need to shout to expose darkness. Tonight, peace is your posture, and discernment is your authority. Heaven has been attempting to reach you not because you missed God, but because the timing had to be exact. And now you are listening. This is not coincidence. This is alignment. What you are hearing is not just information, it is intervention. The reason it feels weighty is because it carries consequence. But hear this clearly. Heaven never reveals to harm you. Heaven reveals to protect you. Chosen one, your sister is not your enemy. Let that settle in your spirit before your mind tries to race ahead. She is loved by God. She is seen by heaven. She is redeemable. But she stepped into something that was never meant to follow her home. And what began quietly has started to ripple outward. That is why you have felt unusual exhaustion. That is why sleep has been interrupted. That is why the atmosphere has felt off, even when nothing obvious was wrong. I have walked through moments like this myself. Times when my body felt tired for no reason, when conversations felt strained without explanation, when peace felt just out of reach. And I learned that spiritual exposure often shows up as emotional confusion before it ever shows itself as clarity. What you are feeling is not weakness, it is awareness. God did not send this message to everyone in your family. He sent it to you because your spirit recognizes truth even when it hurts. Scripture says the Lord disciplines those he loves, and discipline does not always look like correction. Sometimes it looks like trust. You were trusted with sight. There was a decision made months ago that shifted the atmosphere. It was not dramatic. It was not loud. It was quiet. A moment of compromise, a choice made from fear or comparison, and the spiritual realm felt it immediately. You may not have known what happened, but you felt the aftermath. That is how discernment works. You feel before you understand. This is why I need you calm right now, because what is coming next is not meant to break your family, it is meant to purify it. Heaven is not tearing things down. Heaven is closing a door that should never have been opened, and you have been chosen as part of that closure. In the next few days, something will surface. It may seem small, a conversation you overhear, a message that does not add up, something left open that was meant to stay hidden. When it happens, do not react. Do not accuse. Do not rush to conclusions. Pause. Breathe. I have learned that some of the most powerful moments in my life happened when I stayed quiet long enough for God to speak louder than my emotions. There will be a confrontation, yes, but it will not be explosive. It will be clarifying, the kind that cleans the air instead of poisoning it. You do not need to rehearse what you will say. Heaven will steady your voice. When the time comes, your calm will do more than anger ever could. Chosen one. I want to speak directly to your future for a moment. What you are walking through is not only about healing, it is about positioning. Whenever deception is exposed, provision follows. Whenever truth comes to light, alignment follows. And alignment is what releases supernatural transfer. This is why your finances, your opportunities, your sense of direction have felt delayed. It was not denial, it was protection. I have seen this pattern too many times to ignore it. Right before a breakthrough, God cleanses the environment. Right before increase, He removes interference. What feels like confrontation is actually preparation. You are being positioned for promotion you did not ask for, but have been prepared for. Stay present. Stay soft. Stay surrendered. Because the next part of this journey will require clarity, not force. What God is unfolding will not only shift your family, it will shift your future. And this is only the beginning. Chosen one. I need you to stay with me here because what I am about to say carries weight. Not the kind that overwhelms, but the kind that grounds you. There are moments when heaven leans closer, not because danger is near, but because destiny is opening. This is one of those moments. You may have wondered why this situation surfaced now. Why not earlier? Why not later? The answer is timing. Divine timing is never random. It moves when the heart is ready, not when the mind demands it. You have grown, you have matured, you have learned restraint, and because of that, you can now handle what would have crushed you before. There was a season in my own life when I thought clarity would bring relief. Instead, it brought responsibility. I learned that discernment is not just the ability to see truth, but the strength to carry it without weaponizing it. That is the kind of strength you are being asked to walk in now. Chosen one. What is unfolding around your sister did not start with malice. It started with comparison, and comparison is subtle. It hides behind smiles. It grows in silence. It convinces people they are unseen, unloved, or left behind. Over time, it creates fractures not just in relationships, but in identity. That fracture is what heaven is addressing. You may have noticed that conversations feel strained, that joy feels thinner, that moments which should feel light feel heavy instead. That is not imagination. That is spiritual misalignment. And when misalignment sits too long, it begins to affect everything connected to it. That includes you. But hear this clearly. God is not placing this on you to fix. He is placing it on you to steward. There is a difference. Fixing comes from pressure. Stewarding comes from trust. Your role is not to rescue anyone. Your role is to stay aligned while heaven does the work you cannot see. This is where many people fail. They confuse discernment with confrontation. They confuse awareness with accusation. But you are being trained differently. You are being trained to move with wisdom instead of impulse, with restraint instead of reaction. When I learned this lesson, it was uncomfortable. There were times I wanted to speak quickly, just to release the tension inside me. But every time I waited, God revealed more than I could have uncovered on my own. Silence, when guided by God, is not weakness. It is strategy. Chosen one. The exhaustion you have felt was never about your capacity. It was about exposure. You were sensing something your mind did not yet have language for. That is why rest has felt incomplete. That is why peace felt delayed. But now the language has arrived, and with it, authority. In the coming days, pay attention to small disruptions, a sentence that does not align, a reaction that feels disproportionate, a detail that feels off. Do not obsess, simply observe. Heaven often reveals truth quietly before it reveals it clearly. This is how you stay ahead without becoming anxious. There will come a moment when clarity lands, when something clicks, when you realize why this message had to reach you before the truth reached the surface. When that happens, you will understand that this was not a warning meant to scare you. It was preparation meant to steady you. Chosen one. This is where the supernatural transfer begins to make sense. Every time God removes deception, He restores flow. Flow in relationships, flow in peace, flow in provision. What was blocked begins to move again. What was delayed begins to arrive. I have seen finances shift after emotional clarity. I have seen opportunities open after relational cleansing. I have seen doors unlock once the atmosphere changed, not because someone worked harder, but because alignment returned. That is what is happening for you now. This is not just about healing your home. This is about repositioning your life. When interference is removed, blessings no longer have resistance. You are stepping into a season where things come easier, not because life is effortless, but because alignment removes friction. There will be moments when you want to explain yourself. Resist that urge. You will not need to defend your heart. Truth has a way of surfacing on its own. When it does, it will speak louder than anything you could say. And yes, there will be emotion. Let it come. Tears are not failure. They are release. I have learned that some of the deepest healing moments come when we stop trying to be strong and allow God to be present. Strength is not the absence of feeling, it is the presence of surrender. Chosen one, do not rush the process. Rushing creates noise. Stillness creates clarity. What heaven is doing now is precise. Every detail matters. Every pause matters. Every breath matters. You are not behind. You are not late. You are exactly where you need to be. The reason this feels intense is because you are standing at the edge of transition. Transition always carries pressure before it releases promise. Stay alert, but stay calm. Stay aware, but stay kind. The light you carry is not meant to expose in anger. It is meant to illuminate in love. That is what disarms fear. That is what breaks cycles. And as this unfolds, watch how your own life begins to shift. Watch how peace returns in unexpected ways. Watch how doors open without force. Watch how clarity replaces confusion. This is not coincidence. This is consequence. The consequence of obedience. There is more coming, and you are ready for it. Chosen one. There is a deeper layer to what is unfolding, and I want to guide you through it slowly. Not to stir fear, but to anchor you. When heaven begins to move this deliberately, it is because something larger than the surface issue is being addressed. What looks like a family matter is actually a spiritual intersection, and intersections always determine direction. You may be realizing now that this moment is not only about truth being revealed, but about authority being restored. Authority over your peace, authority over your future, authority over what you allow to influence your life. Many people pray for breakthrough without realizing that breakthrough requires boundaries. Heaven will bless what you are willing to protect. I remember a time when God showed me that my prayers were being answered, just not in the way I expected. I was asking for progress, but heaven was correcting alignment. I was asking for increase, but God was removing interference. At the time, it felt uncomfortable. Later, it felt miraculous. That is the season you are entering now. Chosen one, what has been sitting quietly near your destiny can no longer remain hidden. That includes emotional undercurrents, unspoken resentment, and spiritual agreements that were never meant to touch your life. When those things remain unaddressed, they slow momentum. They create delay without explanation, but when they are exposed, movement returns. This is why your prayers are about to feel different. Not louder, not longer, but clearer. You will notice that when you speak, there is less effort, less striving, more certainty. That is alignment. Alignment does not shout, it settles. There is something important you need to understand about what is coming financially and spiritually. Supernatural transfer rarely arrives with noise, it arrives with order. Bills get handled without panic. Opportunities appear without pressure. Conversations shift without force. This is how heaven restores flow. You may soon notice that a weight lifts from your chest. Not all at once, but gradually. Decisions feel easier. Sleep deepens. Your intuition sharpens. That is not coincidence. That is your spirit no longer compensating for misalignment around you. Chosen one, when the moment of clarity arrives with your sister, your response matters more than your words. She may deny, she may deflect, she may not be ready to face what is being revealed. That does not change your assignment. Your assignment is not to convince, it is to remain anchored. I learned this the hard way. There were moments I thought truth needed to be pushed. It does not. Truth only needs space. When you create space through calm, truth rises on its own. This is how heaven handles deception, not through force, but through exposure. You may be tempted to carry guilt. Release it. You are not responsible for choices you did not make. Compassion does not require self-sacrifice. Love does not require silence at the expense of your well-being. God is teaching you balance, not burden. And here is where the financial and spiritual transfer becomes very real. Every time you choose clarity over chaos, peace over panic, obedience over impulse, something shifts in the unseen. Resources align, support appears, provision finds you. Not because you earned it, but because alignment attracts supply. Scripture tells us that light reveals what darkness hides. When light enters, things reorder themselves. That includes your path. That includes your opportunities. That includes your provision. You are not stepping into luck. You are stepping into alignment. Chosen one. There may be moments ahead when you feel misunderstood. Let them pass. Misunderstanding is often a sign that you have outgrown a version of yourself others were comfortable with. Growth creates distance before it creates clarity. Do not explain yourself prematurely. Let time speak. Let fruit speak. Let peace speak. You will notice that those who doubted begin to shift. Not because you argued, but because alignment is undeniable. This is also a season of restoration for you personally. What was withheld emotionally is being returned spiritually. What was delayed materially is being released incrementally. Watch for unexpected relief. Watch for doors reopening. Watch for conversations that resolve without struggle. I want you to ground this in something practical. Over the next few days, pay attention to how you feel after certain interactions. Notice what drains you and what strengthens you. That awareness is not judgment, it is guidance. Heaven often leads us through our senses before it leads us through certainty. Chosen one. You are not becoming colder, you are becoming clearer. There is a difference. Clarity allows love to exist without self-betrayal. Clarity allows generosity without depletion. Clarity allows abundance without guilt, and abundance is coming, not in a way that overwhelms you, but in a way that stabilizes you. Enough to breathe, enough to plan, enough to rest, enough to give. This is how heaven restores dignity. As this unfolds, keep your inner world quiet, reduce noise, limit outside opinions. This is not isolation, this is preservation. When something sacred is being formed, it requires protection. You are not walking into conflict, you are walking into order. Order always precedes increase. Order always precedes elevation. Order always precedes transfer. Let this part settle in you. Do not rush ahead. There is more that will make sense soon. And when it does, you will realize that this moment was not a disruption. It was a doorway. Stay with me. Chosen one. There is a moment in every divine process where heaven slows the pace, not to delay you, but to deepen you. This is that moment. What has been unfolding around you is not rushing because God is careful with what He entrusts to you. Speed impresses people. Depth sustains destiny. You may feel like everything inside you has become quieter lately, less reactive, less urgent. That is not numbness. That is maturity. Heaven is steadying you so that when the next release comes, it does not overwhelm you. I have learned that God often prepares us internally long before anything shifts externally. When the outside finally moves, the inside is already ready. Chosen one. The reason this situation touches finances, peace, and opportunity all at once is because they are connected at the root. What affects the spirit eventually touches the material. What lingers emotionally eventually shows up practically. Heaven is addressing the root so the fruit can change. There is something important you need to understand about your role. You are not the judge. You are the witness. A witness does not argue. A witness does not persuade. A witness simply stands in truth. And truth carries its own authority. When I first learned this, it changed how I moved through conflict. I stopped trying to be understood and focused on being aligned. And alignment brought more protection than explanation ever could. That same protection is covering you now. Or chosen one. You may soon notice that situations begin resolving without confrontation. Conversations soften, resistance weakens. This is not manipulation. This is light doing what it naturally does. Darkness does not fight light forever. It either retreats or transforms. And as this happens, watch what begins to open for you. Financial strain eases. Delays lift. Unexpected support arrives. This is not reward. This is release. What was being held back by interference is now free to flow. I want to speak to you personally for a moment. There were times in my life when I carried responsibility that was never meant to be mine. Emotional weight, family tension, silent expectations. I thought that was love. It was not. It was survival. God had to teach me that love does not require self-erasure. Love thrives best in truth. That lesson is part of your journey now. You are learning how to stay open without being overexposed, how to care without carrying, how to forgive without forgetting discernment. This is wisdom, and wisdom attracts provision. Chosen one. There is also something generational happening here. Patterns do not break loudly, they break quietly when someone chooses awareness over avoidance. You are that someone. Not because you volunteered, but because you were willing to listen. This is why heaven trusted you with this timing. You would not run, you would not deny, you would not explode, you would stay present. And presence is powerful. Presence invites God into moments where chaos once lived. You may feel moments of sadness rise unexpectedly. Let them pass through you. Grief often accompanies growth. It does not mean something is wrong. It means something is leaving. And what is leaving made room for what is coming. Chosen one. As this alignment settles, you will notice a shift in how you see yourself. Less doubt, more clarity, less need for validation, more internal peace. That shift is priceless. It changes how you walk into rooms. It changes how people respond to you. Authority without aggression is rare, and people feel it. This is also why opportunities will begin finding you. Not because you chase them, but because alignment creates visibility. When you are clear, others see you clearly. When you are grounded, others trust you instinctively. This is how promotion works in the unseen. There may be moments when you wonder if you are doing enough. Release that thought. Obedience is not measured by activity. It is measured by alignment, and right now you are aligned. Stay consistent in stillness. Protect your mornings. Protect your thoughts. Protect your peace. These are not small disciplines. They are gateways. Through them, heaven moves effortlessly. Chosen one. What you are stepping into next will require this version of you. The calmer you, the clearer you, the wiser you. This process is shaping you for longevity, not just breakthrough. Let this part land gently. You do not need to do anything right now. Just remain open, just remain aware, just remain surrendered, because what is unfolding is not ending anything. It is beginning something that will sustain you for years to come. Stay with me. Chosen one. Now we step into a phase where things begin to unlock quietly but unmistakably. This is the part of the journey where heaven does not announce itself with noise. It confirms itself with movement, subtle at first, then undeniable. You may not be able to point to one dramatic moment, but you will feel the shift in how life responds to you. I want you to hear this clearly. Alignment always precedes acceleration. Before God increases speed, He removes friction. What you have been walking through has been friction being lifted, not punishment, not delay, preparation. And now the atmosphere is changing in your favor. You may notice it in small ways. A bill handled without panic. A conversation that opens a door you thought was closed. An idea that suddenly feels possible instead of overwhelming. These are not coincidences. These are signs that flow has returned. When heaven restores flow, provision follows naturally. I have lived through seasons where nothing moved, no matter how hard I tried. And then after clarity came movement returned without effort. That taught me something powerful. Striving is not a sign of faith. Alignment is. When alignment is present, things come toward you instead of away from you. Chosen one. This is where the supernatural transfer becomes tangible, not as sudden excess, but as sustained increase. Enough peace to think clearly, enough resources to plan wisely, enough opportunity to choose instead of beg. This is the kind of blessing that stabilizes rather than overwhelms. You are stepping into a season where money no longer carries the same emotional charge, where lack no longer dictates your decisions, where provision does not feel fragile. That does not mean challenges disappear. It means fear no longer controls the outcome. There is a reason heaven waited until now. If this increase had come earlier, it would have been filtered through confusion. Now it will be filtered through clarity, and clarity multiplies what confusion wastes. Chosen one. Your posture matters here. Do not rush to announce changes. Let them settle. Let them grow roots. What God is building in this season is meant to last. Fast exposure invites unnecessary resistance. Quiet growth invites stability. As alignment completes its work, you may notice that some people begin to shift around you. Not because you changed your heart, but because you changed your boundaries. That is healthy. Boundaries protect blessings. Boundaries protect peace. Boundaries protect momentum. I had to learn this myself. Every time I ignored my discernment to keep others comfortable, I delayed my own progress. God had to teach me that saying no to misalignment is saying yes to destiny. You are learning that now, or chosen one. There is also a restoration of confidence happening within you. Not loud confidence, quiet certainty, the kind that does not need to be proven, the kind that does not argue, the kind that knows when to speak and when to remain silent. That confidence will open doors you did not even knock on. People will trust you instinctively. Opportunities will feel drawn to you. This is not charisma. This is coherence. When your inner world is aligned, your outer world responds. You may also notice an increase in discernment around money and opportunity. What once felt tempting may now feel misaligned. What once felt risky may now feel clear. That is wisdom growing, and wisdom attracts provision that lasts. Chosen one. Let me ground this in something practical. Over the next season, pay attention to what brings peace and what brings pressure. Peace is often your green light. Pressure without clarity is often a red flag. God does not rush his children into blessings that require compromise. The increase coming to you will not require you to betray yourself. It will not require silence where truth is needed. It will not require exhaustion to sustain. That is how you know it is from God. You may feel moments of gratitude rising unexpectedly. Let them flow. Gratitude seals seasons. It acknowledges alignment without clinging to outcomes. It keeps your heart open while your boundaries stay firm. Chosen one, do not underestimate how far you have come. The fact that you stayed present instead of reactive changed everything. The fact that you listened instead of denied broke a cycle. The fact that you chose clarity over comfort repositioned your future. Heaven honors choices like that. Not with applause, but with access. Access to peace. Access to provision. Access to paths that were previously blocked. This is also a season where you will notice your prayers becoming simpler. Less explanation, more trust. Less pleading, more expectation. That is maturity, and maturity attracts stewardship. There will be moments when you are tempted to look back and question. Resist that. Looking back is not reflection, it is distraction. What God is doing now requires forward vision. Chosen one, you are not walking into uncertainty, you are walking into order. And order supports increase. Order sustains blessing. Order keeps doors open. Let this truth settle into you. What is unfolding now is not temporary relief. It is a foundation being laid, one that will carry you through future seasons with stability instead of survival. Rest here for a moment. Let this part anchor you, because the next phase will show you how this alignment begins to manifest beyond your inner world and into your visible life. Stay with me. There is more opening than you realize. Chosen one. Now we enter a stretch where the internal work begins to show outward fruit. This is often the quietest phase and also the most misunderstood. Nothing looks dramatic yet, but everything is changing underneath. Think of it like roots strengthening before growth appears above the soil. What you do not see is just as important as what you will soon see. There is a reason God did not rush this process. Sudden visibility without inner stability creates collapse. Heaven is not interested in giving you something you cannot sustain. That is why your spirit has been trained first. Calm before, increase is not delay. It is wisdom. You may begin to notice that your reactions have changed. Situations that once triggered you no longer have the same grip. Conversations that used to drain you feel shorter. Decisions come with less emotional wrestling. This is not because you stopped caring. It is because you stopped carrying what was never yours. I remember realizing one day that I was no longer replaying conversations in my head. That constant mental noise had gone quiet. At first it felt strange, then it felt like freedom. That is the kind of freedom God gives. Not loud, not flashy, just steady and real. Chosen one. This is also where discernment sharpens around people and opportunities. You will sense when something is aligned and when it is not, without needing evidence. Trust that. You are not becoming judgmental. You are becoming attuned. When alignment is present, your spirit recognizes it immediately. This sensitivity will protect you financially as well. You will avoid decisions that look good but feel wrong. You will feel peace around opportunities that once scared you. That is how divine guidance often works. It settles before it speaks. Do not ignore this phase. Many people do. They chase the visible breakthrough and miss the internal upgrade. But this upgrade is what allows you to keep what is coming. What God is preparing to release to you requires this level of clarity. My chosen one. You may also notice that certain relationships begin to feel distant without conflict. That is not rejection, that is realignment. When your frequency shifts, not everyone can walk at the same pace. Let this happen without resentment. Separation does not always mean loss. Sometimes it means protection. This is also a season where generosity returns to you in unexpected ways. Not just money, but support, time, opportunity. People showing up without being asked. This is heaven confirming that you are no longer operating alone. I want you to pay attention to moments when help arrives easily, when something resolves without struggle, when answers come before anxiety builds. These are signs that resistance has been reduced. Flow is returning. Chosen one. The reason this matters is because sustained blessing requires low resistance. High resistance drains joy even when abundance is present. God is not only blessing you, He is preserving you. You may feel moments of gratitude mixed with grief. That is normal. Gratitude for where you are going, grief for what you outgrew. Allow both. Growth often asks us to release versions of life we thought would last longer. This does not mean those seasons were wasted. They trained you, they shaped you, they strengthened you, but they are not meant to define you going forward. Chosen one. Your confidence will continue to mature here, not into arrogance, into clarity. You will speak less, but mean more. You will explain less and trust more. That is authority. Authority does not announce itself. It is recognized. As this phase continues, you may feel prompted to simplify your schedule, your thoughts, your commitments. Follow that prompting. Simplicity creates space. Space invites clarity. Clarity attracts provision. I learned that some of the biggest breakthroughs in my life came after I reduced noise, not added effort. When I stopped filling every moment, God filled the gaps with direction. Chosen one, you are entering a time where rest is productive, where waiting is active, where stillness is strategic. Do not fight that rhythm, flow with it. This is also where you will begin to trust yourself again, not blindly, but wisely. You will realize that your discernment has been accurate more often than you admitted. That realization restores confidence without ego. And with that confidence comes readiness. Readiness for opportunities that require stability. Readiness for conversations that require maturity. Readiness for provision that requires stewardship. You are not being rushed into the next chapter. You are being invited. Invitations feel different than pressure. They come with peace. Chosen one, let this part settle without forcing outcomes. Do not look for proof. Let confirmation come naturally. It always does. Because what is forming now is not fragile. It is rooted. And what is rooted does not collapse under pressure. Stay grounded here. The next part will show you how this inner alignment begins to influence the external world more visibly, especially in areas of work, resources, and direction. You are closer than you think. This is the phase where alignment begins to speak louder than effort. You may not be doing more, but life starts responding differently. Doors that once resisted now open with less force. Conversations that once felt tense now soften. This is not because circumstances magically changed, it is because you did. There is a moment when inner clarity crosses an invisible threshold and begins to influence the external world. That moment is now. People sense it before they understand it. They feel your calm. They notice your steadiness. They trust your presence even if they cannot explain why. This is spiritual authority made visible. I remember realizing this shift when people started asking my opinion without me offering it. When opportunities came through conversations, I almost skipped. When support appeared without explanation. That is when I understood that alignment creates gravity. When you are centered, things are drawn toward you. Chosen one. This is especially important in the area of work and provision. You may notice new responsibilities, new conversations, or subtle changes in how others rely on you. Do not rush to interpret them. Observe first. Heaven often tests readiness through small invitations before larger ones appear. There is a reason God has been teaching you restraint. Increase requires discernment. Not every open door is your door. But the doors meant for you will feel aligned, not anxious. They will come with peace, not pressure. You may also notice that your time becomes more valuable, not because you are busier, but because you are clearer. You say yes with intention. You say no without guilt. That alone will multiply your effectiveness. Boundaries are not walls, they are filters. Chosen one, finances may begin shifting here in practical ways. Expenses stabilize, income feels more predictable, unexpected provision arrives. It may not all happen at once, but the pattern changes. Less scrambling, more order, less fear, more planning. I want to be honest with you. When this happened for me, it did not feel like winning at first. It felt unfamiliar. I had to learn how to receive without suspicion, how to trust stability after seasons of survival. If that feels strange to you, you are not alone. Stability can feel unsettling when chaos was familiar, but chaos was never your calling. Peace is. This is also where your discernment around people sharpens further. You will notice who respects your boundaries and who resists them. Pay attention. Respect is alignment. Resistance is information. You do not need to confront it. Simply adjust access. chosen one. There is a quiet confidence forming in you now, the kind that does not need affirmation, the kind that does not seek approval, the kind that allows you to walk away from what no longer fits without drama. That confidence will protect you in the next season. It will keep you from overextending. It will keep you from rescuing others at the expense of yourself. It will keep you grounded when attention increases. Yes, attention will increase. Not in a loud way, but in a steady one. People will notice consistency. Leaders notice reliability. Opportunities notice readiness. This is how elevation begins. I want you to stay grounded in something simple. Do not chase visibility. Chase alignment. Visibility follows alignment naturally. When you chase visibility, you invite pressure. When you choose alignment, you attract provision. Chosen one, you may feel moments of anticipation rising. Let them be gentle. Do not force outcomes. Anticipation without patience becomes anxiety. Anticipation with trust becomes expectation. This is also a season where your voice carries more weight. Not because you speak louder, but because you speak with clarity. When you do speak, choose words carefully. Words spoken from alignment land deeper. I learned that silence taught me when to speak, and when I did speak, people listened differently. That is wisdom, and wisdom multiplies influence. Chosen one, do not underestimate the power of consistency in this phase. Small, steady actions will compound quickly. Regular rest, clear priorities, honest communication. These are not ordinary habits. They are gateways for sustained blessing. As your external world begins to shift, remember what grounded you internally. Return to stillness often. Protect your mornings if you can. Create space to breathe. This keeps alignment intact. You are not moving backward. You are consolidating strength. And consolidation prepares you for expansion. Soon you will notice that decisions about money, work, and direction feel less complicated. That is clarity doing its work. Clarity simplifies what confusion made heavy. Chosen one, stay attentive but not anxious. Stay open but not exposed. Stay kind but not self-sacrificing. This balance is what allows blessing to remain. The next phase will show you how this alignment begins to produce visible outcomes that others can see, not just feel. It will test your humility and your confidence at the same time. You are ready for it. Stay with me. Chosen one. Now we arrive at a moment where what has been forming quietly begins to surface visibly. This is where others start to notice the shift you have been living with internally for some time. It may feel subtle to you, but it will not feel subtle to those around you. Alignment has a presence, and presence changes rooms. You may find that people respond to you differently now. They listen more closely. They trust you more quickly. They sense steadiness, even when they cannot explain it. This is not because you became louder or more assertive. It is because you became anchored. Anchored people carry authority without force. I remember the first time this happened to me. Someone asked for my input on a decision that mattered, even though I was not the most experienced person in the room. I realized later that it was not about experience. It was about clarity. When your inner world is ordered, others feel safe inviting you into theirs. Chosen one. This is how elevation often begins, not with applause but with responsibility, not with recognition but with trust. Heaven often promotes quietly first, then visibly later. Pay attention to invitations that require wisdom, not performance. Those are signals. This phase may test your humility. You may be tempted to downplay what God is doing in you. Do not shrink. Humility does not mean denial. It means gratitude without ego. Receive what is coming with open hands, not clenched fists. There may also be moments where jealousy surfaces from unexpected places. Do not personalize it. When light increases, shadows react. That is not your burden to carry. Stay neutral, stay kind, stay aligned. Light does not argue with darkness. It simply remains present. Chosen one, finances and provision may now begin to shift in more visible ways. You may notice increased consistency rather than sudden bursts. Stability replacing stress. Planning replacing panic. That is a sign of maturation in blessing. God often moves his children from survival to stewardship before expansion. This is where discipline becomes important. Not discipline driven by fear, but by respect for what you are stewarding. Budgeting, planning, resting, saying no when needed. These are not restrictions, they are protections. I learned that when I respected what God placed in my hands, more found its way there naturally. Not because I demanded it, but because I was trustworthy with what I had. Stewardship attracts increase. Chosen one. This is also a season where you may feel called to release old narratives about yourself. Stories of being overlooked, misunderstood, or undervalued. Those stories served you in survival, but they do not belong in this chapter. Carrying them forward would distort what God is building now. You are not the person who struggled to be seen anymore. You are the person who is steady enough to be trusted. That shift matters. There may be moments when you reflect on the past and feel a mix of gratitude and grief. Gratitude for how far you have come, grief for how long it took. Let both exist without judgment. Healing does not erase history, it redeems it. Chosen one. I want you to hear something important. What you are stepping into is not fragile. It does not require constant guarding through anxiety. It requires maintenance through presence. Show up. Stay consistent. Stay honest. That is enough. You may also notice an increase in intuition around timing, when to act, when to wait, when to speak, when to remain silent. This is discernment at work. Trust it. You do not need to justify it to everyone. As this alignment continues to express itself outwardly, you may feel pressure to rush results. Resist that. Rushing shortens seasons. Patience deepens them. What God is doing now is meant to last, not impress. Chosen one. The influence you are carrying now is subtle but strong. It changes environments without announcement. It steadies chaos. It invites order. This is why heaven invested so much time shaping you internally first. You may begin to see how this process connects to generational patterns. Where others reacted, you responded. Where others avoided, you faced. Where others repeated cycles, you paused them. This is not coincidence. This is assignment. There will be moments when you wonder if you're doing enough. Release that thought. Obedience is not measured by exhaustion. It is measured by alignment, and you are aligned. This is also a time to guard your inner dialogue. Speak kindly to yourself. Honor your progress. Do not minimize your growth. Self-respect is part of stewardship. Chosen one, as doors continue to open, remember what grounded you. Stillness, discernment, surrender. Return to those often. Success without grounding becomes pressure. Success with grounding becomes peace. You may feel excitement building. Let it be calm excitement. Anticipation rooted in trust, not urgency. What is coming does not need to be chased. It will meet you where you are. I want to speak directly to your spirit now. You did not endure what you endured to arrive here empty-handed. You carried lessons, you carried wisdom, you carried restraint. Those are assets, and they are being recognized now. This season will also ask you to receive without suspicion. That may be new for you. Allow it. Not everything that comes easily is dangerous. Sometimes it is simply alignment working as designed, chosen. 1. Do not forget to rest. Rest is not retreat. It is preparation. The more aligned you become, the more rest becomes productive. As this part of the journey settles, you may notice a sense of readiness. Not urgency, but readiness. That is the signal that you are prepared for what comes next. The next phase will challenge you to hold expansion and humility together, to walk confidently without hardening, to lead without losing tenderness. That balance is rare, and you are being trusted with it. Stay present, stay open, stay grounded. What is unfolding now is not the peak. It is the platform, and you are standing on it with grace. Chosen one, as we close this sacred hour, let your spirit settle into what has already been released. This was not just a message you listened to. It was an exchange. Heaven spoke, and your soul answered. What was stirred in you tonight is real, sealed, and already moving. Anointed one, know this with certainty. A supernatural transfer is in motion. Not someday, not later, now. You are standing in your Kairos moment, the exact intersection of divine timing and prepared obedience. What was delayed has shifted. What was held back has been cleared. What was hidden has lost its power. Heaven has responded to your willingness, and the flow has begun. Do not rush this moment. Let gratitude anchor you. Let peace guard you. Let faith steady your steps. You do not need to strive for what God has already authorized. Walk gently, speak carefully, rest deeply. Alignment is your covering now. Chosen one, remain faithful in the small moments that follow this one. Stay sensitive, stay surrendered. Pay attention to the quiet confirmations, the subtle openings, the calm assurance replacing pressure. These are signs that the anointing is active and the transfer is unfolding exactly as intended. I bless you now with clarity where there was confusion, provision where there was strain, and peace where there was heaviness. I declare that your home is covered, your spirit is protected, and your path is ordered. What you carry from this moment forward will bless not only you, but those connected to your obedience. And if your heart feels full right now, if something deep within you says yes, honor that. You may choose to share a word in the comments as a witness of agreement, or quietly stay connected so you do not miss the next appointed word. Let it be led by peace, not pressure. Chosen one, go forward with gratitude. Go forward with confidence. Go forward knowing heaven has already gone before you. What is coming will not surprise you. It will confirm you. Stay aligned, stay faithful, stay open. I will see you in the next message. Until then, walk in authority, rest in grace, and move forward, knowing it is already done.